watch chick flick tonight and watch like the equivalent of a Lifetime movie about going to Italy?
So we went to Italy last week, and
It's kind of a last minute trip.
Well,
I don't understand why it was last minute.
It wasn't last minute. In my head, so where we're at in France, we are only probably not even an hour's drive to get to Italy, the north part of it. So I always in my head said,
we're only an hour away
from Italy?
Yeah.
Yeah, from Vinton. We appreciate you watching, everyone who's been following along our story. We have enjoyed telling it. Hopefully you're enjoying following along. So it would be very helpful if you could like and subscribe. That would be great.
Yes, thank you.
And we shot down there for 5 days.
Took a road trip. It was
fun. You in the car is always a good time.
I think I did great. I have done much worse. What are we doing today?
Going on an adventure. Going to Hungry Land.
Where are we going?
To Hungry Land.
Everly.
California.
Okay. Everly, where are we going?
Italy.
Italy, road trip time.
So we took a road trip to Italy. We stayed, basically the most known place would be, we were about 30 minutes from Pisa, which is on the coast, and it's about an hour and 20 minutes from Florence.
We were in Tuscany, but I had no idea what Tuscany is.
So Tuscany is like, it's almost like a state. So it's a massive region. It covers Florence all the way to the coast. There's mountains. So we stayed in Tuscany, but we stayed really close to the water.
I think we were like 20 minutes away from the water, up in the mountains, which I did not realize that Tuscany was full of major mountains.
Yeah, like mountains,
yeah. And it was, I don't know what I was expecting, but I just loved it. We were driving to our house, and we are habitually on time,
yes,
both of us. And so the house opened at 3. We were going to arrive at 3. We hit a little bit of traffic, which put us like 20 minutes behind. But then we got a call from the rental agency or whatever that said, sorry, there's bike races in the mountains today. You can't get to your house until like 6:30. The roads are closed. So we decided, we'll go to the beach, because we packed a beach bag. And there's this line of towns in this hike. It's called like the Cinque
Terre. It's this very known hike. I think it links like 5 little small towns, and you can hike the whole thing. It takes a day or two, or you can just hit a town and go see it.
So while we were driving, we get this call, and Nick's like, hey, just find a town to go to, and we can find something to eat and go to the beach. And my thoughts were like, this feels like Asheville.
By the water,
on the coast. Like the people, it felt very different than France. It was green. I mean, of course, there were a lot of hikers. We could tell. Like there were people living out of their vans with dreads, and I mean, it felt like Asheville. But it was just, I found Italy to be relaxed.
Yeah, I had a blast in Italy. I did not know what to think either. We'd never been.
No.
So I think just to me, like whenever you just approach a new place, as long as it's not a big city like Paris or London, but whenever you approach somewhere, it's like the first glimpse you get of just the environment, the landscape. It really like kind of, I don't know, it gives you a feeling of like, oh, this is really neat, or I've seen this before. And we start driving down to our place, and it was just that feeling of like, oh, this is a really, really neat place to be. And then we got to our place.
And it was awesome.
I mean, it was really cool.
There was like a very small vineyard that was on the property.
Yeah.
And we got there 2 days before it was time to harvest the grapes.
Yeah.
So the guys, the owner, who spoke no English, but he was so nice. This really old man who apparently built this place by hand with his dad, and it took him 40 years.
Which seems like...
Feels excessive.
40 years?
Yeah, like maybe buy some tools. Because they did it by hand, and it was impressive.
Yeah, like each rock carved by hand.
You could see the tool marks because they carved it by hand. Our kids had a blast running through the vineyards.
The whole house was pretty amazing. It wasn't a massive house. It's built on the side of the mountain out of rock.
Into the rock of the mountain.
And our kids loved this idea of like, secret passages and
Yes.
and because the house was like on a rock, like you go up and around and go this way
There
and
were a
like
lot of
hide
secret
through the
passages.
house and around the house, and they had a blast. It
They
was a
did.
really cool spot.
Yeah. We did spend a couple days. We went to Pisa for a day.
Yep.
Super fun day.
Yeah, we were only there 5 days. That was fun. I think it was surprising. That morning we were gonna go somewhere else. We were like, oh, let's just go to Pisa because it's not far away.
You know about the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but one of the things that I told you is there's enough to do there to spend a whole afternoon.
Yeah, really.
But there's not so much to do where you're like, gosh, I don't know what to do first. Or I feel like I'm missing out on so much. We did not go in the tower.
No.
Because you have to pay $20 to go, which is fine, but you have to be 8. And our youngest could not go, and you have to go in pairs. We did get free tickets to go in all the other places. And we ended up in the baptistry, which is the least impressive building of everything that's there. Y'all sat down for some reason. I think I was the one walking around.
Yeah, it was inside. It was shady. So
Yeah, it was
It
cool.
was a place to sit down. So Lennon and Everly both sat down. So we just.
Yeah, and I noticed that the security guards were locking up the building. And
Yeah, you told me it's time to go. They're closing.
They're closing up. And there was us and like 4 or 5 other people, but they were not trying to get us out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, my anxious mind is like, oh boy, like what is about to happen in this?
Terrorists.
Yes, honestly, yes. So they lock all of the doors. We're all locked in, and one of the security guards goes into the middle section that's totally roped off. My initial thoughts were like, Lennon, please be quiet, because she immediately started singing with him.
Yeah.
So that's super fun because it's like silent except for him and Lennon singing. But once we got her quiet, even our older kids were like, this is so cool. So then we were let out, and with no terrorist activity, we were fine.
Not that we know of. Yeah, so Pisa was a really cool spot. The other one we did while we were there, we went to Florence. We had to go to Florence.
We had to, and unfortunately, I did not realize that you have to book tickets so far in advance.
To see
David. Really, to do anything in Florence that requires tickets. There were other museums and castles that I checked out, and everything was a week and a half out.
No.
So then I quickly planned a day in Florence where we didn't need any tickets.
No.
And we were on foot the whole time, and it was a good day.
Yeah, it was great. I mean,
Yeah.
Florence is a big city, but it's not a big city.
It's not like Paris,
No.
but it is full of people.
Yeah, and driving is awesome. I mean, at one point I was driving through a town square,
Yeah.
that I had no idea if I was supposed to or not. And then, of course, there's horses, so you have to not
Which we
hit the
ended
horses.
up riding.
Yeah, which we did take a little horse ride.
We took a horse ride, but I mean, I don't even think we scratched the surface of Florence. But what we do know is it is a beautiful city with beautiful sculptures.
Yeah.
Lots of penises.
Yes.
Our daughter was like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
Our oldest. And gluten-free food in Florence is a dream.
Yeah, there's these two restaurants that are side by side. One says like the world's best
World champion gluten-free
gluten-free
pizza.
and the next door says the first gluten-free
Yeah.
restaurant or something like that. And it was amazing.
They were so good.
Yeah,
and so knowledgeable, and it was just like it was a treat to be able to eat there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the gluten-free pizza was better than many just regular. It was the best
Yeah, it was such a treat.
I've ever had. biggest thing, Italy.
Going
It's
back.
so up now on our list. We're gonna go
Yep.
back. Easy to eat.
Cheap.
Oh yeah,
That's a big deal. Groceries.
super affordable.
Yes, like even like we're in France right now, so if we want to go buy pizza, we're gonna spend how much?
It's 15.
Euro on a pizza.
Yeah.
In Italy, where it's like pizza.
Yeah, it must be
Right.
like a law. It's $7.
$7.
It's $7 for the best pizza you could ever have. We spent 5 days. We decided we have to go
We
back.
have to go
so it's
back.
it wasn't on our plan.
Mm-mm.
So we're kind of rearranging our schedule in the future to go back for hopefully about a month.
Our original plans were we were going to be in the Canary Islands for Christmas.
Yeah.
We thought, let's go warm, let's just like make Christmas super different. And after being in Italy, we were like, we have to come back here.